I'm Larry, and I wanted to make a video today, I guess tonight, my time, about my life, I guess you could say now, my new life. I'm going to be starting pretty much. I recently got diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, and I wanted to kind of document my journey, like my life with it, like living with MS. And I thought it would be a good way for me to kind of keep track of how I'm doing, how I'm not doing, if things have gotten better or worse, or just kind of keeping a little journal, basically, of it. But I also thought it'd be maybe helpful to somebody else who can relate, or not relate, or just really don't really understand what's going on and what MS really means and what it really does. And also, hopefully this video helps, like, my friends and loved ones and my partner understand more of what's going on with me, and things I'm not comfortable necessarily talking about when we're together or on the phone or whatever. Because I will say, I have a difficult time of really opening up and saying how I feel, or what my wants and needs are, or what I am unable to do or able to do. It's just, it's just something I've always been. I have a hard time just having focus necessarily be on me when I'm with another person. So this is my kind of way to give a little outlet. But yeah, when I say I was recently diagnosed, it's literally today was my first day of treatment. So I'll guess I will start off when I first noticed something was wrong until now, pretty much. And then I will do another video on my treatment and the process of getting my treatment, I guess, and everything, and how to do my treatment and things, just to, I have a lot in my head that I plan to do. But yeah, starting off from the beginning. It is February now, and this whole entire situation started in the beginning of November. I worked in the mall at Sephora as one of their makeup artists and their consultants for other areas of the store as well. And I just started school for about 2 weeks, actually. And then I got really sick and was unable to do any of that. So I had to just call into work. Well, I guess start from the beginning. School-wise, I was in school for 2 weeks, and then I know I couldn't make it to class and be in class for however long, and then the rest of the time. So I had to pull out of school for the time. I plan to go back to school very soon. I've actually spoken to them this week, and getting things on the mall again. But I had to pull out of school, which kind of totally sucks because I just started. But when you're unable to leave your house, you can't really go to school in that context. But yeah, so that was start one. The symptoms wise started, like I said, at the beginning of November at work. It was actually, I know exactly when it was. I was on my lunch break, or dinner break, I guess, and I was with my coworker, and we were sitting there eating, and then I kind of stopped, and I was like, I can't feel my tongue. And then it kind of turned into, I can't really feel my lips and the left side of my face. And I didn't think anything too much of it. Like, I was at work and I couldn't do anything, so I just let it be. And then slowly I got kind of worse with how I was feeling. It's moved to numbness on like my entire face, and then it turns numbness in my hands and my feet, and then the numbness just creeped up my legs, and it was fairly slow. It was about a week of the numbness starting to feel weird, and then it didn't affect me too much, and I just thought I'll get over it if I just kind of wait it out. But then it kind of got worse in the sense of, like, I was unable to work. Like, at work, I was feeling horrible. I couldn't see. I couldn't keep balanced. I couldn't feel. And then it actually was a day I was at work, and I just really couldn't handle it anymore. And I told them I just really can't be here right now. And they're like, okay, fine. And I went to the emergency room, actually, after, like, right after work. I drove home as best as I could. I started losing my vision and my coordination, so it was kind of dangerous for me to be driving. So I drove home as best as I could, and then I called my sister right away, and I was like, meet me at home, take me to the hospital. Like, so we went to the emergency room, and they did two CT scans and other things, and they kind of ignored some of my symptoms, and they were focused on others. So we went there, and I was there for a night, and then they gave me some medicine, and they said the CT scans are all normal, so they sent me on my way, and I scheduled an appointment with my regular doctor. And I went to my regular physician, and he diagnosed it as like a virus. And so I took some virus medicine for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And in that time, I was not okay to go back to work, so I didn't go back to work, and I actually haven't been back to work since, really. But yeah, I took a leave, so I just told them, like, don't put me to work, don't put me on the schedule, I won't work, I tell you when I'm good enough to work again. A couple weeks went by, and my regular physician just wasn't really doing anything, I feel like, that was moving forward with what was going on, because everything he said it went from a virus to a different virus, and all the medicine he gave me either made it worse or didn't do anything. So then I kind of got fed up, and then I sought a different opinion from another doctor. So I went and met with another doctor, and again, they diagnosed me with other things, and they just kind of didn't really feel like they cared. So, and it's my family doctor I've been going to since I was probably like 10, so it's been like 11 years I was going to. And I've kind of grown to care, like, feel like the caring didn't matter as much, and he could care less of what was going on with me, and he kind of just gave me the same medicine every time, said it was the same thing, and I was like, no, this time it's really different, and something's not right. And I just felt like nothing was coming of it. So I saw the other doctor, like I said, and again, it was just, didn't really feel like they cared. So I went to another doctor, and I felt like he cared so much of what was going on. He seemed generally concerned. He was really freaked out of, like, what was going on with me. At that point, I lost a lot of ability to walk. So it went to, he wanted me to see a specialist for what a neurologist, and get an MRI. But the neurologists in my area have been booked for a while, And so I wasn't able to see my neurologist for about a month and a half. So in that time, he gave me some medicine to hopefully deal with it, and then he said if anything got worse, go to an ER. And I kind of coasted on for like a week, and then it got to the point where like I got fed up with not being able to get out of my bed to go to the bathroom even, and the bathroom's across the hall from my room, so it's not that big of a walk, but I couldn't coordinate myself to move. And it just, at first it was kind of a nice break to like be able to be alone and like with myself and like not work and not deal with people and kind of but then that only lasted for about like 2 weeks, and then I was like, I'm so bored and tired of not working and everything. And through this whole experience, I kept in touch with my work, and I told them about every doctor's, and I called them after every doctor appointment and saying like, this is what we think it is, because I do generally really love my job, and I was worried that something would happen with my job or anything. So it got to a point where I couldn't deal with it anymore, and I told my family that I wanted to go to an ER. At that time, it was kind of like my sister doesn't really believe in ERs a huge amount. So, because she feels like it's not a lot of help for the times we've gone. So we spent the night calling doctors or medical students that we know and are like family, friends, and things like that, seeing their opinions and where to go to get good medical help. And we got in and a lot of them had the same opinion on hospitals in my area. So at that point, it was just so late, and I got so tired that I just said, tomorrow morning we'll go. I just want to sleep, and then we'll deal with it tomorrow. And so that's what we did. The next day, we went to an ER, and in this time, speaking with family, friends, and that were in the medical field, they strongly suggested getting an MRI for all of my symptoms. So while we got to the ER, I will say my sister and I were very pushy in getting an MRI as soon as possible. And it was kind of like we have to work through like the protocol of the emergency room at the hospital we were at, but we were very pushy, and they got us into an MRI as soon as possible, which was 3 hours later, but it was that day. And we got to the MRI, and they did it, and then and we took the MRI, and then it came back that I was most likely I had MS. And I didn't know, like, my family did not know a lot about MS. And so instantly, with the magic of Google, my sister and I went on a research bench of Googling every website, all the information we can find, and getting to understand this website, the disease as best as possible. In that time that we were there, they gave me some medicine to take, and unfortunately I had to be shipped off to another hospital because the neurologist that I was scheduled to see worked at a different hospital, and they didn't have the staff on hand to take care of me. So I went from one hospital to another hospital across town, and then that's where I ended up. And in that time, I researched a lot, and I got to the hospital, and then they ran many tests on me for 4 days, 3 nights and 4 days. I had IVs put in me and just pumped me with medicine and steroids and a lot of tests. And yeah, so that was my situation with that. At this point, it was near the middle to end of December, so I've been dealing with that issue for about almost 2 months at that point. And I was ready to have something said. I actually, whenever they diagnosed me with MS, I got really excited, oddly, and my sister was really confused on why I was excited, and all the doctors in the hospital was like, why are you so happy? And I was say that I was honest, and I said, I'm happy to have an answer and know where to go from here, instead of the 2 months of me getting answers that were wrong and treatments and medicines that like didn't do anything besides make it worse, and just blindly saying there's something wrong with you, but we don't know what it is. I didn't want to hear that again. So I was so happy when they got diagnosed, and then everybody thought I was so weird for being so happy and so positive, which is kind of all you can do. Like, at that point, there's nothing you can do but just move forward and be happy you have an answer and you know where you're moving forward to. Because being blind is not fun. Like, blindly going into the medical field with issues is not fun, at the least. So yeah, I went to the I was in the hospital for 4 days. I got a roommate like halfway through. I had 2 days where I had a roommate, and it was the grumpiest old man I've ever met. And I was just really perky and happy and just fine, okay, like everything was cool. And they were like, we have like the most difficult client or patient on the floor, and they're like the sweetest, youngest client on the floor in one room. And they were like, this is so weird. And I'm like, it is what it is. Because my philosophy with the hospital was, they don't want me to be like sick. Like, it's not their choice, and all they're doing is just do their job and trying to make me as comfortable as I can be. And they were amazing at that. And they were so helpful to me, and if I was nice to them, they were nice to me. Like, fair game. Like, it's not your fault I feel bad, it's not your fault I'm here, you're just doing your job, you're trying to make things better for me. And I will say, with one of the tests, I had to do like a spinal tap. And luckily, for some reason, apparently it takes like 5 guys to do a spinal tap for me. One of the doctors was holding me to like in a C shape, and he kept on banging my head against the headboard, and then I had to tell him like, I can't move any further because the headboard's up. And he apologized and put it down, and then we finally got me the position I needed to. And it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, he didn't know he was jamming me into a headboard, and I like didn't know how far I was supposed to curl, and I thought it would be fine, but it wasn't. And then the other doctor was in there, and he missed, and he was digging to find it, and he was just like, I'm so sorry, I can't get it to work. And I was just like, okay, it's not a big deal. Like, it really wasn't. Like, there was nothing I could do besides sit there and deal with it. And it's not like he chose to miss, and it was his goal just to miss and just stick around. Like, it just didn't work out. In the end, he couldn't do it, and I had to wait to have it done in a different way, where they had to, I guess it's like x-ray me and find between my bones the way they needed to. That worked, but that took longer, but I had to wait, and then just like another time getting stabbed in the back with a giant needle. Cool, but I was just okay as long as the test was made and I got answers. Yeah, all in all, I left after 4 days. I got home. I got the medicine they gave me, or the steroids they gave me, was like magic, because I went in there not able to stand without collapsing, and I walked out of the hospital. No, I didn't walk out. I walked kind of to the car a little bit, and I was like, this is so weird. Like, in 4 days, I went from like 0 to like 80% better, which was amazing. I was just happy to walk again. But I got out, and I think the first day I was out, like, and did something, and like saw the world again in like 2 months, besides the hospitals and doctors, was Christmas Eve at my church. So that was actually really, really nice to be able to go like have a Christmas and go see Christmas Eve like I do every year, instead of being cooped up in the hospital. Yes. In that time, my work had to give me medical leave or let me go. So they wanted to keep me, and they wanted to give me the paperwork for medical leave, and they're sure I would be approved. And so I had to fill that paperwork out. And in that time, I had a lot of paperwork I was trying to fill out. I didn't have insurance at the time, so it was just trying to get insurance while I was in the hospital, trying to apply for all grants, I guess you can say, or assistance I can get for financially through all the hospitals and everything, because hospital bills add up to be really, really expensive. So, and being my age, what I work, I would not easily be able to afford those bills. So I just did all of the paperwork I can do while laying in a hospital bed, because there's nothing else to do really besides watch like Jerry Springer on reruns. But I will say, though it was a long journey to getting diagnosed, where I was diagnosed and what happened in that time where I was diagnosed, and it was kind of like the shock of everything being processed, it was really good because of the doctors I had and the nurses at the hospital I was staying at. So I will say that was a good experience. And for the more difficult experiences, again, was all the financial and paperwork that came after. I got bombarded with mail of bills that had to be paid, and then I had to call them and request for assistance. So and then I had to get like all my paperwork sent to me, and then like fill it all out, and then send copies of whatever things I needed to be approved for, and sent on my way. And it was just a long, long time before treatment had gotten to my hands. Today was my first day of treatment, and it took like a month and a half for me to get treatment for everything and approved for treatment. That was the most difficult part, was being approved for my treatment. And which I'm on Capaxone, I think it's called, yeah, Capaxone. And I'll do a video about that later. But it was just such a long process. I will say, luckily, I got approved, and I had a cow when I was approved. I was like, yes. I got approved for that, and then I got approved for, so far, half of my medical bills and stuff I got approved for. I'm waiting on the other half. I'm just waiting on it. It didn't say I'm not approved yet, but I'm just waiting for it to be processed, because it is a long time to be processed and approved for those things. But I'm hopeful, because I got approved for everything else, so I'd assume I get approved for the other things. But I'm hopeful for everything that's to come. And I'm just happy to be able to move on and move forward with whatever I have to do to live a normal life, or my version of normal, which I feel like will be done, and I will work on it and be okay with that. I don't know what else to say. I guess that's it. I just wanted to share my little story and my process of being diagnosed with MS and getting to where I am today. And yeah, thanks for watching this. If you watch this and watching till the complete end, because this was a long story and rant. Yeah, that's it. I will hopefully do other videos soon. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Mwah.